Hey y'all,
My name is Kayla Walker,
Dari Desai.
and I'm Chandu Changova.
and we're three freshmen here at UNC Charlotte, live from Levine Hall.
Levine Live is a podcast that's here to bring you the details on the Levine Scholarship Program.
We'll be discussing everything from our experiences digging holes at Knowles to our nerve-wracking experiences on finalist weekend.
Be sure to tune in here every week for some heartfelt advice, some funny stories, and a good time. Hey everyone, welcome back to Levine Live. How was everyone's week?
It was pretty good, pretty busy. I think it's our second week back into in-person classes. So just getting the hang of actually getting to and from class.
Yeah.
But
Also, first exams are coming up. We had our first one last week, this week now.
Yeah.
And I have two more this upcoming week. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, my week was pretty good. Also busy. I felt like all of my activities started mostly this week,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
been like a lot of running around campus.
Right.
And next week, I'm pretty sure I have like 3 tests to do, so that should be pretty fun.
Have fun.
Yep.
So today we're going to do an episode all about Charlotte. This entails us in UNC Charlotte and how we fit into the city as well.
So let's get into the episode. So when was the first time you guys actually came to UNC and checked out the campus?
So for me, I applied to Levine. I had never seen Charlotte before, and it wasn't until I got into Levine and like the week after, me and my mom planned a trip down here. So my first impression, like I thought the school was like massive. Like we were just driving in circles like the day before my tour, and the campus is like so nice, like all the brick and all the greenery. Like we saw people like sitting outside in the hammocks and stuff. So I like just really like loved the campus, and I fell in love, especially after like I met Dr. Z. And then there were a bunch of scholars who came out. So I really love the campus.
It was the same for me. I'm in state, but I never, I moved down high school, so I never, went or toured any campuses because COVID hit while I was, starting my touring process. So the only campus I toured was Duke and UNC. But I applied to Levine, applied to Charlotte. After I got in, I toured Charlotte without, meeting Dr. Z and all, because I didn't know we were able to do that at first. So I just toured with my friend, just Charlotte as a whole. Turns out my Niner guide was a Levine. So I talked to her about it. And then she told me about a little bit about Levine and all. And the campus, it's brick, which is really nice. Much better than any other campuses that you will see on, or at least in state for sure. Especially with the dorms as well. So that was my big selling point, I guess.
For me, I actually until I was offered the scholarship, I didn't even look at Charlotte. And I think the first time I ever actually came was after I got the scholarship, and me and another fellow Levine, Ellie, who was going to be my suite mate, we're let's go take a tour together with the Levines. And I don't think I met Dr. Z, but I'm pretty sure I met Portia. But we just toured it. It was raining, so we couldn't walk. And it was during the summer, so there was nobody on campus. And I remember it a little, but in a car, it wasn't as maybe interactive. So the first time I actually got a feel for campus was move-in day, where we actually walked around campus, and it was so nice because I was okay, I've been here, but I haven't actually toured it or anything. So that was, and I loved it, and our dorms were nice and everything was nice, so it was a good experience.
Yeah, so Charlotte is a really big campus, which it honestly doesn't feel now that I'm here, it doesn't really feel like it, but I would say there's a lot of different things going on and different things that you're involved in. So right now, what clubs are you guys in, and how's that club experience been for you guys?
So right now I'm in a few pre-professional clubs, just hobby clubs, and then I'm also starting one of my clubs from high school. So getting into clubs is pretty easy. It also depends on what clubs you're trying to get into. Some have an application process, some don't, and it's kind of like high school clubs. There's a huge website on the Charlotte page to see whatever clubs you want, spiritual clubs, hobbies, service clubs, and everything like that.
Yeah, so I'm in a lot of pre-professional and also hobby clubs like you. So there's College Mentors for Kids, and then there's Coloring for Chemo. There's different like clubs. There's pretty much anything you could ever hope for is probably on campus, and if it's not, it's super easy to like start one. And like the Levine Scholarship Office by itself is really supportive with starting clubs. So if you like need a mentor or need someone to look over it, you could probably just ask Dr. Z or Portia. But yeah, I think it's like you could be as involved or as not involved as you want. It's a really like personalized experience, I feel like, clubs.
Yeah. And I think being in Levine, like, somewhat, like, most people are just, like, they do it on their own, like, get involved, but, like, that can be within clubs at Charlotte or just, like, outside in the community as well. For me, I'm also in College Mentors for Kids, and I'm a general manager for that. And then we're supposed to be starting up HOSA this semester also, so hopefully that'll get picked up. And then also just like pre-professional clubs like Black Women in Medicine, that's something that I started going to this semester. So yeah, I think a lot of the clubs are like really easy to like get involved in, and you either just like there's like a student org showcase like in the beginning of the year or in the beginning of each semester. So you can like figure out what type of clubs that you're interested in and like which ones are active. So I think it's like pretty involved to like, I mean, pretty easy to get involved on campus, which is really nice. Even though it's like big, it like makes smaller communities for yourself.
Yeah, and there's also like cultural clubs that you could join depending on your interests. There's so many different things. I think one of our fellow Levines is started a baking club. And they always sometimes like call us down at like 11 p.m. saying that they bake stuff and they have extras and feed us all. But they're just, depending on your interests, you could get anything on campus.
Yeah, I went to Diner Engage like while I was a finalist, just trying to like go through like all the list of clubs that we had, just to see what was there and like see what I could like maybe potentially start myself. So definitely a lot of things to do.
That's exactly what I did with like my club starting it. It's like College Mentors for Kids, but was like I like science more, so instead of like there's no like teaching clubs for science, so like I'm starting that club hoping it gets approved and all. But like Levine as a whole has been like the biggest like help with my club. Dr. Z is now my advisor for the club, since I couldn't find another advisor as well.
So we could probably like start moving into a lot of like the facilities and what's really offered on campus. So like what are some like, I don't know, like facilities you guys have been involved in? What are some facilities that you guys found helpful?
I think like first like probably biggest question that I had here was like the dining halls and food options. So at Charlotte we have two like main like community style dining halls, like buffet style. That's Sovi, which is like if you're in Levine Hall, it's like right down the street, like 2-minute walk. And then we also have Crown that's like located in the Student Union. And like I think both of those are like pretty decent. Like sometimes it does get repetitive, but like overall like pretty good quality. Like they always have pizza and like whatever like specific meal they have for the night, burgers, salad station, fruit bar, things like that. So overall it's been pretty good. And then we also have Prospector, and then some places in Cone that you can get you can use your DB, which is basically like the UNC Charlotte currency, and you can get like Chick-fil-A, Bojangles, Panda Express, Subway, Starbucks, all like the different things that we have there. So overall like dining has been like pretty good since we've been here.
And especially with like dietary restrictions, me and Tinder are both vegetarian, and like we still haven't found like a problem within like the dining options. Like even with like the main like meal they would have, it's usually non-vegetarian, but they also have like meat replacement like tofu or like quinoa or stuff like that. You could also find black bean burgers. Pizzas, like it comes in all toppings. You can make your own wraps now as well. So there's just a lot of options.
Yeah, usually what happens is like Sovi, especially if like when you live in Levine Hall, is more of your like breakfast and like weekend kind of go-to spot. Because Crown is located in the, as Kayla said, like in the Student Union, which is closest to all your classes usually. So a lot of times we just go to Crown for like lunch. In our weekdays and so on and so forth. But yeah, like there's pizza, there's sometimes they have like taco bars, they have Asian food sometimes, like pho and stuff like that. So it's, I think for a food hall it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And, like, once you get bored, as Kayla said, you can use DB to get yourself some Subway or Chick-fil-A. They have boba on campus. There's a new Auntie Anne's coming in in the science building.
Very excited for that.
Yes.
There's coffee shops all over campus as well. And then one thing that we were able to use that's off campus is Domino's. So you can use your DB to get Domino's whenever you want as well.
Yeah. So it's really, I think with a food plan with DB, you could get a pretty meal plan, like a meal plan that's pretty various.
Yeah. And when you're a freshman or first year, you come in with like $250 of DB, and then you have unlimited meal swipes, which is at Sovie or Crown, the 2 dining halls. And then when you become a sophomore or second year, you can like change your meal plan. So like for me, I think I'm gonna do like 100 meal swipes and then do like $350 of DB, because I'm also planning on having a kitchen next year too. So I can also like have the option to cook for myself. So definitely a lot of flexibility, especially as you like get older. Here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and there's also like small markets like the Sovie market and then the Crown market that have, it's kind of like a grocery store you can use your DB in. Yeah. So there's like just like deli sandwiches, a bunch of candy, or just like quick things that you might not be able to go to campus like off for. There's some ice cream and stuff like that in between classes. If you just need to get something real quick, you can just swipe your DB and buy something in the market. So that's there too.
And then each pass or like each semester you get 5 guest swipes as well. So you can invite any of your friends that are not on campus or family, and you can just swipe them in 5 times throughout each semester. So
that they don't have to pay when they come to Sovie or come to visit you and they want to eat at Sovie or Crown. But yeah.
Alright, so let's switch to UREC. That's like another like new, I think it's one of the newer facilities that we have on campus. So UREC is like our recreational center, and it's like a gym. It has like I think like 5 or 6 floors. Like each floor has something different, like weight machines, treadmills. There's a pool, indoor and outdoor pool. So how was like you guys's? I know some of us go to UREC more than others. I've been there like 2 or 3 times since we've been here, because we just get so much walking to classes and stuff. Yeah. But how do you guys like UREC?
I like UREC a lot, especially I find myself when I do go, I find myself on like the lower floors. So as you go up, it gets from like straight like free weights to like more like cable machines. So the bottom floor is your indoor pool, and then that leads to your outdoor pool as well. But also you have like your full like machines with like straight weights. And then you go up a floor, you have your cable weights. You go up another floor, you have more cable weights. Now you start to have your treadmills. Then you go up again, then you have like you have your indoor track that we have, and you have your cycles and like more cable weights, and then it goes up to like lower, and then at the very top you have more like open rooms for like yoga and spin and classes that they host, stuff like that. So I know that, Kayla, you've been to more classes, so how has that been?
Yeah, I've been to cycling classes, and overall, like, I think they're really good. Like, the instructors are, like, really nice, so you just, like, come in with a group, and sometimes, like, you go with friends, or other times, like, I've just been alone, and it's, like, just really nice to, like, have, like, group classes. Some of them are really fun. There's one called Twerk and Tone that I haven't been to yet, but I've really been trying to go there, and like everyone who's like been there says like it's so fun. So that's also one. They have like all different like types, and like if you go to the UREC, you can see like butts and guts, total body workout. They have knockout, which I think is like kickboxing, gentle yoga, all types of different things. So you can definitely like check out, and they have like a lot of varieties. If like that's like if going to the gym by yourself is like intimidating, like that's probably the best like way to start if you're like interested in it.
And then like the 3rd floor where it doesn't have any like machines or weights, but that's your open court where you have your basketball courts, and then some days they'll put up nets for like volleyball or badminton, stuff like that. So that's where your 3rd floor is. And then what I find myself doing usually after a workout, I go to like the kickboxing room. They just have punching bags and stuff hanging up, so I just start for cardio. I just do that. Yeah.
No, for me personally, like I'm a big swimmer. I haven't been to UREC a lot because of walking like on campus, but the swimming pool is really, really nice. And just like UREC in general, I think it's really easy to just like kind of like construct a gym and not really care about like the like ambiance, so to say. But like once you're in UREC, like the windows are so nice. There's like on one floor with the treadmills, you could literally see the swimming pool and like watch people swim. And then like while you're on the treadmill, you could on the other side you could see people walk to and from like classes and stuff like that. So you're not just like feeling like a machine, like just up there like working out.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of like minds their own business. So you go there, like even if you're scared of like going alone, you shouldn't be. You should just like get some headphones and work out for an hour or a half. So like I think overall it just is a place where a lot of students go to like bust stress, and it's like a really like a good place to go.
Yeah.
So like another kind of facility type thing or just like resources that we have on campus is the Career Center. So I haven't used the Career Center too much besides like getting my resume checked in, but have you guys like utilized the Career Center and like have you found anything like super helpful about it?
So I know that I really haven't used the Career Center, but like some of my friends have. So they are great for like resume, essay, or any of those like editing that you need. You can also find like, I think they also have like tutoring help, interview help. They also not now, but like they also have like clothes. Like let's say that you have a business interview to go to, like some like really like important interview, and you don't have like a blazer or suit or dress shoes. You can rent out like clothes or like business professional material from them.
Yeah, I like went for getting my resume checked as well, and they're really helpful with that stuff. They do like essay help. They also with the interviews they do legitimate like mock interviews.
Yeah.
So you could like literally give them, this is the type of interview I'm going to, and they will like make it so that it's like a mock interview where with the same environment. And then they'll give you a review. They'll tell you if you get hired or not, blah, blah, blah. They also have, like Daria just said, you could rent out your clothes and you could get your headshot taken.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. So
Yeah.
I definitely might be using that one.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. And so they help you with like building your LinkedIn, building your resume, building kind of like your more professional life. Outside of just like being a student, you're kind of getting set up for the professional world in the future. And so they help you with all of that. And they are so nice. You could probably just like email them with a few questions, even if you don't want to go in person. And they email you very quickly back.
Yeah.
So.
And they also have virtual and in like you were saying. They also have virtual drop-in sessions, so you don't even have to make an appointment or anything like that. They have a link, you just click on it, drop in, and someone will help you right away. And adding on to that, they help you with like job searching and like networking with professionals if you ever need as well.
Yeah. I think they've also set up like career fairs. Like I've gotten emails about those in the past. So there's definitely like a lot of like career growth and like just helping you like with like interviews and stuff that they have here, which is really nice.
Yeah. But at the same time, with like everything that you do on campus, mental health is super important. And UNC Charlotte does offer psychological services, CAPS. So you can get free therapy sessions, I think, for how many weeks?
It's like kind of flexible. I've used CAPS before, and I would say like overall, like Levine has been very like open. Like Dr. Z and Portia, like, oh, like have you called them? Like, maybe you should talk to them. Even like upperclassmen have like talked to me, like, oh, like I went to CAPS and it was like very helpful for them. So I was able to go during my first semester, and I think I received like 6 appointments. So it's flexible. Like you just kind of have to call and figure it out as is. But if like I think everyone, especially like in an environment like this where it can potentially be like high stress, like taking care of your mental health is something that's like super important. So I think that's like a great resource that we have on campus if you ever need to talk to someone, or even like talking to upperclassmen about their experience at CAPS can be like super helpful as well.
Yeah, and they have like all different types of therapy sessions, and like they have group therapy, individual therapy as well. And then I also know like you can talk to them about literally anything, and they have like, what is it? I forgot.
Like confidentiality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, it's really good. I actually just went to the building in person the other day, and it's a hike, but it's like really nice in there, really chill. So everyone there has been like super great, especially when I've been dealing with them throughout the first semester.
Yeah, and another thing is like in the career center and like CAPS and stuff like that, they usually have like lobbies and just like areas that provides just a place any student could go. So if you don't want to sit in the dining hall, you don't want to sit in the library, you don't want to sit in like your dorm or your study hall in your dorm, and you just want some place to like go where no one will bother you, where you can just sit down and chill and do your work, do whatever you need. CAPS and the Career Center both have those. And sometimes, like, especially if, like, suppose I was working on a resume and I would just want like immediate help, I could literally just go sit in the Career Center, and they'll approach you and be like, do you need anything right now? I'd be like, no, do your work. Whenever you have a question, they're right there. So both of those are really, like, I think, like, safe spaces to go to. So regardless if you want to actively get help or not, they're just places you could find some peace at. And then also student health is there. So this is where you have like on-campus doctors. This is where there's an on-campus pharmacy. Pretty much COVID testing, all of that happens there. So you can book an appointment, get your COVID tests, so on and so forth. They'll check you out, and if anything's needed, they have like a records office where if you need a referral, you could just go get your records, and they'll refer you to a specialist if that's needed. They can prescribe you medicine. You can get that from the pharmacy literally on campus. And depending on what your insurance is, if you're bringing in your own insurance from home or if you're getting the insurance that the school provides. But that's like the payment options. But if you are bringing in insurance from home, which a lot of people do, what you can do is, especially at the pharmacy, if you do get something, you pay out of pocket right there and then, because they can't like immediately bill it to your insurance. And then you just get your refund from your insurance. So it's convenient, it's fast, it's easy. Sometimes we don't want to like go off campus to get whatever like medical needs, like just a diagnosis of a flu or something like that, or it's just some over-the-counter like cold medicine. So that's a pretty good resource for that.
Yeah.
So how has living in the dorms been for you guys?
Honestly, I've loved it. Like, I think I have to say, like, Levine is so nice compared to some of the other dorms I've been in. Me and Shandu are...
It actually might not be here when you guys come, though.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially. It might not be here.
But me and Shandu are suite mates, so kind of the standard for all of the Levine. So you have to live in Levine your first 2 years, and then the standard like room that you'll get is a 2x4. So it'll be 2 rooms, and you'll have a roommate in that room with you, and then 2 other suite mates. And then there's a living room, and you guys have your own bathroom, which, you know, the shower, toilet. Sometimes the sinks are outside, sometimes they're inside. So it's like nice if you want to like brush your teeth while your roommate's also in the bathroom. And I just think it's been so nice and convenient, like just being able to like go in the living room and hang out, or have people over, being like having like separate space between your room and all the things. So I just think it's been so fun. There's also like study rooms like inside the campus. Inside your floor. So sometimes we go there to like do work, or we go to the lounges to hang out. So overall, I think it's been like really nice, like living in Levine.
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes that like we don't leave our dorm building just because we have everything we need, and it's been so nice. Like Kayla said, our rooms, like we are in a 2x4, which is like covered just a standard living like housing agreement, but like Dario lives in a 4x4, so he has his own room and so on and so forth. And it's just like the rooms are spacious. There's like space for everything that you'll need, and it's just like there's communal bathrooms if you need it, but also like you get your own bathroom, so you don't have to share with any strangers. And it's just like there's a kitchen on the first floor that you could ask for like pots and pans if you don't have an apartment style, and cook something, bake something. There's pool tables, there's ping pong tables, there's study rooms, and there's sofa lounges where you could do like movie nights.
Yeah.
And then there's always some event going on in the building. There's 5 floors, so there's always something or someone doing something. So you could literally just take the elevator up and down and find something to do on any floor.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such a happening place. You don't necessarily have to leave the dorm building like Levine Hall to get anything, other than like going to classes or if you want to get out and so on and so forth. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah. So I live in a 4x4 like they said. So the 4x2 is standard. That's like Levine will pay for. I just like upgrade a little bit. I like my own room, so I was able to get my 4x4. So with the 4x4, we have our own room, but each room like in Levine, you have the communal like loft area, which not a lot of other schools will have. Like I know for a fact that like NC State dorms or UNC dorms, they don't have any of that. Only I think Charlotte's like one of the only ones in state that has like the communal like loft area where you could like have a TV in there, and then you and your 4 roommates, or like if you call any other friends over, you could sit on the couch that they even give you, and just like watch TV, watch a game, or do work or whatever we do. And then with that, like since we are living in like where if you're a Levine scholar, you're also in the honors program. And with Levine Hall, you have like there's 2 separate sides. One side's fully residential, the other side has the Levine office, the honors office. But this also has a study room where we're like podcast like our videos right now. You have 2 smaller study spaces downstairs in the printer room,
Conference rooms.
and conference rooms, and you can print whatever you want. Levine does like honors college comes with free printing, which is nice. Like usually if you don't have that, you have to go to the library and pay like 10 cents per page, which is relatively cheap as well. But it's just nice to have like free printing whenever you want. It's open all night, all day, 24/7, everything.
Yeah, that's been like really nice. It's like all you have to do is like come down the stairs under the arch, and then like you're in the honors college where you have like resources. You can come up to like Dr. Z or Portia's office or anyone else in the Levine office. Downstairs you have the printing, so it's just been really convenient like living, like having like honors like classification under Levine. And like living on like the 3rd and 4th floor with other honor students. So sometimes you'll see people like traveling in herds together, like going to the dining hall, and everyone from the honors college has been like super nice, and like we're all friends with them. So overall it's been really good.
Yeah, and like there's a little courtyard in between the 2 buildings. And like once the weather gets warmer, you see a lot more people out there. There's like there's seating areas where people like to do their homework. Especially at night when there's a nice breeze. And you could play out your music. Yeah, and there's like Foursquare. I think like, what is it, a stencil? I don't know. But where people play Foursquare, and it's just like a nice place. You could go outside and still like, we call it under the arc.
Yeah.
It's an arc. So like there's no rain. If it's raining, you can sit there. A lot of people like to watch sunsets.
Yes, the sunsets here are so good.
Yeah. So it's just like a place. I think all of Levine Hall like residents are such amazing people, and you can make friends super, super fast just because a lot of them like to be out of their dorms just exploring the floors. And so you can talk to people and at the same time like retreat back into your dorm or into a study room if you need time alone. So it's like, I mean, it's perfect for me.
Yeah. And then like another thing is like with the honors college, we have our Levine seminar right here. Like the first 3 semesters that you're here, you're gonna have Levine seminar. But like for us, what we do, walk out of our dorms, cross the arc, and just go straight into those in the 2 classrooms that they have. You usually like, since there's usually no classes happening, only like honors college and Levine are allowed to have classes in there. So that also like stays at like an extra study space. It's really big. So if you have like a big group of friends, like if you have to record, do like a video project or something like that, or like if you want to have like a small like game night or something like that, you could use the tables and chairs and everything there to your advantage.
Yeah, that has been really nice. The sophomores coordinated a little game night, so we like went under there and like played some games, Uno and stuff, and then went out under the arch, and some people just joined like while we were playing Foursquare. So overall, there's a lot that Levine specifically has to offer, which is really nice.
And like you can't see it, but like right next to us, there's like a bookcase full of just like books for whatever, like major, whatever, like like graduate experience you want, test for that, blah blah blah. So you could literally come in here and find yourself a workbook if you need it. It's just like a really good place to be.
And they even have a policy like you could take the book if you want.
Yeah.
Just when you take a book, just leave one of your books back. So it doesn't matter what book it is. Just any book is fine.
All right, so transitioning, I know one thing, like some of you like in high school might be playing sports, and that's still like an option here, not only like at Charlotte, but as Levine too. So Dara, you're on the Frisbee team here. So like how did you like find out about the Frisbee team and like try out and things like that? And how has it been like kind of balancing being like Levine scholar and like academics with sports while you're in school?
So like finding the Frisbee team was through another Levine, like especially through the finals program. I was like going through like the star showcase, and there was like one about activities and like extracurriculars and sports. So I joined there, and I saw that another like one of the scholars was on the Frisbee team for a little bit, or like they tried out or they played Frisbee for IM. And I was like, does Charlotte have a club team? Turns out they did. And then another like benefit for me was my high school like team captain came to Charlotte, and now he's a team captain for the Charlotte club team. So he just texted me, he was like, yo, do you want to join the Frisbee team? So I was like, yeah. So that was like one way I got in. But I know that Jamie also is on the Frisbee team with me. So the way like he got in was like I just texted my captain, or like Chris. I was just like, hey, I have another like Levine who also plays Frisbee and everything. So he's also in, which is really nice. So we have like practice 3 days a week. It does like with any club or with any sport, you do have to practice. So they are for 3 hours or 2 hours a day. But you can manage, you can skip sometimes. They everyone understands, like everyone knows that you should put school before anything else. So they understand, especially like being a Levine and all. And then like with IM sports, it's the same website through UREC. You just go on UREC. I think you have to create an account for IM. But like a lot of my friends are in IM soccer, basketball. What else is there? Football, I think, was there, flag football. And there's just like a lot of things you could do with IM as well. Like I think there's also IM volleyball you could do. You can make your own team. Like if you have a group of friends that want to play, you can make your own team, or you could even just like go in as solo and then just join a random team as well.
And UREC usually has like a showcase, like in the beginning of the year, where all the clubs, like club sports, intramural sports, all pretty much like any team will set up a little booth. And you can go, so you could see swimming, you could see Frisbee, you could see like softball, you could see fishing, I think.
There's fishing there,
there's like pretty much anything you could ask for, they'll have a booth set up for. So you can literally go and sign up right there and then. So you start getting emails from them, start interacting with the teams before they start practicing, figure out if it fits in your schedule, if you actually want to do it. But that's, I think, a really good opportunity if you're interested in sports, or even if you're not, because I don't do sports a lot, and I still went with Daria to just like check it out. And there's a lot of things. I almost signed up for volleyball, did not do that.
There's also like niche ones, like there's archery, disc golf. Like I know like a lot of people don't do them, but if you are interested in them, there's disc golf, archery. I think there was like another one I forgot, but there's a lot of niche
riding horses. That one was, they were like no experience needed.
There's Quidditch. There's
so lots
also
of things here.
flag football clubs, rugby as well.
And you could always just like sign up for literally all of them, go to a practice for each of them, figure out which one you like, and then continue it, or figure out sports isn't really your thing and not continue any of them. And like usually the first like few weeks, the sports teams are really tolerable with like who comes in, because there's just so much interest, and then obviously it filters down. But a lot of them know that people are coming into college trying to start new things. So don't be intimidated with your experience level when you join something.
So going into sports, how are like the football games? Have you gone to any football games, basketball games, or something like that?
Yeah, I really loved, like, honestly, like at my high school, I felt like I didn't really like go to like football or sports team games and stuff, but it's been really nice at Charlotte. So like throughout the football season, me and some of my friends would all go up to the games, and Dr. Mike, who is also associated with Levine Scholars Program, he hosts tailgates. So we would head to the tailgate, have some food, and then go to the game. So those have been really nice. And then for basketball, like football games are mostly on Saturdays, but for basketball games, they have them like throughout the week, and they have all types of giveaways. So if you're there early, you'll get a t-shirt or like a pickaxe, like a foam pickaxe they had one time. So overall, I really like the sports scene at Charlotte. Even sometimes if we're not that good, like it's just like fun to like go like have fun with your friends and just like kind of be social and stuff. So it's been really nice.
The most memorable one that I had was our first one. It was the first one was against Duke. Our first football game was against Duke. Went to the tailgate. I think we all went as like a whole. And then Dr. Mike had like great food there. Either sometimes he like makes like they make homemade the food, or they like bring Chick-fil-A, Moe's, and then stuff like that. And then like they have a volleyball net set up. They have like soccer balls, basketballs, footballs that you could throw around. So I think one time we just played like volleyball with like some upperclassmen.
Yeah, that was really fun.
And then we headed to the football game, stayed there for a bit. We beat Duke, of course. But
yes, that was the best. Like nothing can compare to like when we beat Duke. It was so close, and then we like some of us stormed the
game.
We all storm. Usually when we win, we all storm the field as well.
Yeah, so that was amazing.
Yeah. No, basketball games and football games are so fun to go to on campus, especially with like a group of friends. Usually the football games have like a bigger audience than the basketball games. Basketball games I think is more fun if you go with like a small group of friends and just like hang out, get something to eat before or after, go to the game, get your free stuff, hang out. But football games are usually like a school-wide event. So tons of show, and usually there's like I think nothing to describe the feeling of like standing up there in the bleachers with literally thousands of UNC Charlotte students, regardless of the outcome. Just like it's fun. It's an experience you should have. And like the sophomores, because of COVID, I think some juniors too, because of COVID, they did not have games last year, just because of the pandemic. And so it's starting back up, like the sports scene is starting back up on campus. And so there's a lot more excitement with that. So hopefully there's no canceling or anything, but hopefully it'll be like straight back to normal once you guys are here.
Yeah, and then also like being a Charlotte student, you get free access to any of the games. Usually like some colleges like they make you pay, even though if you're a student like it might be a lower price. But as a Charlotte student, you get free access. You don't have to like reserve any of the tickets except for like certain games, like the first Duke game. You just like log in and then buy like a free student ticket because they will get filled. Like the Duke game was I think fully packed with Duke and like Charlotte students.
Yeah. But I think that's fair. Like just reserving your spot is all they require from you. The rest of it is free. Yeah. If you want to bring guests, a lot of students like to bring their friends on campus on weekends of games because usually there's a lot going on in campus before and after the games. And so it's a super happening place during those times.
And if you like bring in a friend or anything, it's like a cheaper cost for like a guest pass as well.
Right. All right, so now let's segue into the city of Charlotte itself. So we kind of talked about UNC Charlotte, but how would you guys say like this university fits into the city of Charlotte as a whole?
Okay, so like Charlotte itself, like the city, is like more like city-wise. Like you could see it from Levine Hall. Like when you're walking towards like the parking deck, you could see the city as like from the far. That's why I really like Charlotte. We still count as in the city. We're still connected with like the greater city as a whole, but we don't have to worry about like the city noise, anything that happens in the city, because like usually there's more population in the city, so there's more noise, more cars, traffic, and all of that. We don't have to worry about that, so we're still like a city school, but we're more like in the suburbs, which is nice.
Yeah, I definitely really like that. I know when I was going through my college application process, like the one kind of criteria that I had was that it's in the city. So this was just like the perfect fit. The fact that like we still have like a homey more so feel because it's like outside of uptown, which is like, you know, the big buildings and those types of things. But it's still so convenient to get uptown if I need to do something or we just like want to hang out or whatever.
Yeah, a big thing for like me and my family, for me personally, like Kayla said, one of the biggest criteria was to have like city around. But like for my family, like for safety reasons, they were really like particular particular with where the university was located. Because usually universities are just, like, in and of itself, like, safe, but, like, putting that in the middle of a city kind of pushes that a little bit. Yeah. And so, like, with Charlotte, like, not only do you have, like, constant patrol, like, it's really super safe. It's just, like, right outside the city. So these, like, city is super accessible whenever you want to go. There's the light rail. You can take straight to city, and it'll take you straight back to campus. And there's, like, bus systems and all of that. But at the same time, you could keep in your own, like, safety area if you needed to, which I don't think a lot of, like, universities that pride themselves of being near the city or in the city have.
Yeah, and also since we're, like, a suburb, like, we're, like, kind of, like, off the main city, we have every, like, thing here. There's Harris Teeter, walkable distance. Target's also, it's a little stretch. You could push a walking distance. But, like, you could probably find someone with a car. If someone's going, one of your friends are going, you'd probably get a ride with them or get them to get you something. But Target's, like, right next to Harris Teeter. Right next to that, there's, if you're into, like, different, like, cuisines, there's a, what is it called? There's a falafel gyro place, like, a food truck right there. There's Mexican restaurants nearby. There's an Indian grocery. There's, like, 2 Indian grocery stores nearby. And then there's, like, Top Golf, Defy Gravity. So, like, even though we're not in the city, we have, like, a crap ton of stuff here. Like, Waffle House. And, like, because, like, each, like, college is, like, split by 2, like, main roads. And our 2 main roads have, like, literally everything we would ever need on them.
And the light rail makes that so accessible and so easy. So if you don't have a car on campus, literally you can take a campus bus up to the light rail station. And you can get off at any stop. Like, the first stop has, like, your urgent care, Panera Bread, and, like, just, like, things that are more needed for a college student, especially, like, urgent care stuff. I think I've used that a couple of times for COVID testing, so on and so forth, and stuff like that. And then you can, like, keep going uptown. You usually take the light rail to go to, like, the huge stadiums. We went there for, like, the food festival and, like, games and stuff like that. So, like, baseball games usually happen uptown. There's restaurants, so sometimes I think, like, a few of us really like to dress up once in a while and go somewhere, like, a nice restaurant to sit down and eat and chat. There's different things like Optimist Hall we'll talk about later and stuff like that. So everything is accessible even without a car, which is I don't think a lot of campuses have at all.
Yeah, it's been really nice to be in the city. A lot of us didn't bring our car first semester, so we use the light rail a lot, especially since the weather was nice, just to go uptown and hang out and do different things. This semester, I personally brought my car just to also, like, have more range to do, like, different community events and just stuff like that. It's always convenient to have, but it's not necessarily, like, a need. So, like, anytime I want to, like, I don't have to wait on someone else to, like, with the car to go to Target or something like that. So it's been nice. And also, for your internships that you'll do going into your second year, it's a little bit easier to place if you do have a car. So I've just, like, been getting acclimated to, like, Charlotte traffic and all the different things. So it's been really nice to have a car on campus to, like, still explore even more of, like, the Charlotte and, like, surrounding areas.
And, like, the thing is, like, even, like, if you don't have a car, the light rail, yes, it takes longer, but probably, like, 10, maybe 15 minutes if you get everything timed down perfectly, like when the light rail comes and when it's going to leave and all that. If you get it timed down perfectly, it will probably take maybe 10, maybe 5 more minutes to get to the actual spot, then a little bit walking distance. But for not having a car, I think the light rail is, like, one of the best options you could do, because you don't have to Uber into the city or anything.
So I've only Ubered, like, once or twice since I've been here, which is super nice.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so the transportation is super nice on campus, like, especially with the constant bus shuttles that I think, like, go everywhere, all the way to Epic. And if you're in engineering or planning on getting to engineering, good luck. Epic is the, like, engineering building way on the other side of campus.
It's not terrible of a hike if you could figure out. So I used to, like, work at Epic, so all I do walk to Union and take a bus to Epic, but that still would be like a 15-minute walk too. It's not as bad as people think, because Epic's right next to the football stadium, and people always walk to the football stadium. So
So how would you say, like, one especially the big thing with Levine, like we have like a long history of like community involvement. So what type of like community involvement activities have you done since being on campus, and like what other options like does Levine have?
Yeah, so since COVID is now like clearing up, getting smaller, like getting lower, and the risk is getting like smaller, Levine restarted up, like we brought up Habitat for Humanity. This is where we like go out, help build like or remodel a house, build it from scratch or renovate it. And so we'd like team up with Habitat for Humanity's like Charlotte chapter, and they already have like actual like construction workers helping us out, so we help them make like the process quicker. Sometimes we like did roofing, sometimes we would take and do like more like studs and stuff like that, and we just like help them out with anything that's like house related. And that's what we've been doing for like within Charlotte, and it's not just like Charlotte as a whole. It's like sometimes we'd go to like neighboring cities around Charlotte. Oh, my voice.
But yeah, so Habitat for Humanity, you can like volunteer, like Daria said. A lot of Levines love doing this as kind of like a community project. So you have to get up pretty early for some of the builds, but just doing it with a group of friends is super fun. And so there's that, but you could also do like research for the community. So I personally do research for Habitat for Humanity right now. We're kind of exploring the effects of like permanent housing on children's outcomes in education. And that's like super important for the Charlotte community. Education's important. Having a stable home is important and stuff like that. So not only can you volunteer with these kind of like resources that Levine provides for you and the community of Charlotte provides for you, but you can find different ways to give back to it. You don't have to just volunteer. You can do research and projects and stuff like that. I know you're pretty involved with the Ronald McDonald house, which is another Levine Scholar favorite. But do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so RMH, since with COVID and, overall, like Ronald McDonald House works with families whose children are in the hospital. So it's like a house that they can stay, and what we do as scholars is go in and like cook them like a homemade meal, which I've like really loved. I've done it 2 or 3 times now, and it's like some of my favorite stuff that, like community service that we've done so far, or at least that I've done so far. So it's been really nice. You go in with like a group of like 4 or 5 due to COVID, and especially the nature, like these families have sick children in the hospital, so it's like COVID is like really important, and they're very strict with that. But it's just been so fun. You first Portia or Dr. Z will go grocery shopping, so we'll pick up the groceries and then head to the house, and we just cook, and then we serve the food to all of the families or the residents who are there. So overall, it's been like really nice to just like kind of get involved in something, and especially being interested in pre-med, kind of like volunteering on the other side of like the spectrum of that, like, you know, really trying to like make like a small impact on like the families who are directly there. Another place that I actually just volunteered at was Second Harvest Food Bank. So there, like, we just kind of like had all of these food that was donated by like Food Lion or Target or Harris Teeter, all these like different grocery stores and stuff. And we were like sorting the food to go be distributed all over North Carolina and the Charlotte area. So there are definitely a lot of different options for like community involvement, and like you can just like try different things and kind of like see what what place like is like kind of touches your heart and like is interested in you.
And then so like with now us like finishing our first year off, then now after Knowles, our second summer is involved with like nonprofit internships and stuff like that. So like, yes, we like volunteered through like our first semester at RMH and Habitat and other like Second Harvest, but like there's also way more nonprofit internships that you get like a whole list of when you are starting to apply for them or like get a match with them. So I know there's like Atrium, there's like Caring, which is like another pre-professional like medical internship, Make-A-Wish. There's the Charlotte Convention Center, and just there's so many internships and nonprofits that Charlotte has and that Levine like is a partner with that you can just get involved with. And like even if you don't end up interning with them, you could always like I think reach out or talk to Portia about like volunteering with them at some time.
And like the biggest idea is that, especially part of the Levine Scholarship Program, that this community of Charlotte gives us so much. Like, it gives us a home, it gives us the opportunity for education, and so on and so forth. That it's a big, I think, theme and a big goal for any Levine scholar to give something back to the community that gives us so much. And so, like, just having these many avenues to do so is a lot of fun, because you can probably dip your toes in anything that you want, figure out what you like, figure out what you and your friends like to do, what you like to do individually. So it's really, really up to you and really personalized, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So kind of on the weekends, like a lot of us like to like hang out on campus, but also like go uptown, take the light route uptown, and do certain different things. So what have been, I would say, like, one question: what is your favorite activity that we've done uptown in Charlotte, Ben?
So I'm a big foodie, so no matter what we do, whenever we go uptown or like just like go out for like a little bit, we always go get food. So the light rail takes us straight to Optimus Hall, which is great. Like, they're like small, like not food trucks, but like stalls inside there, and they have like everything. They have pizza, they have empanadas, they have burgers, they have dumplings, they have what else?
There was like cotton candy and everything.
Cotton candy, ice cream, gelato, pretzels. They have like literally everything there, which is nice. And then for like sometimes in the first semester, I did have my car. So with TikTok, I just get these like random like dessert places nearby. So me, Kayla, and Chun-Li would just go to like at random times during the weekends, or like if we didn't have anything like at late night during the weekday, we just go to like, we went to Jenny's, we went to Morlia's. Morlia's was one of our like friend favorites too. And then we'd also went to, I think, since you like cupcakes, we went to like Cake Pop or something like that.
Yeah. So overall, like, the food scene is very good at Charlotte.
Amazing.
I wrote down a list of like all these different restaurants that I got recommended to me. So like, we're slowly, like, every Friday we will go out and like a few of us will go and we'll get try the food and rate it. So we've been keeping like a running list, which has been nice.
What for you guys next semester?
Yeah, we'll pass it on.
I think, and then I think as just like a Charlotte student in general, one of the biggest hotspots to hit is Optimist Hall, which is kind of like a stall-based, like, food hall, so to say. But it's uptown, and, like, you could dress up as nice as you want. There's always people really, like, dressed up super nice. And it's just, like, a place where you can get anything, too. Which is... there's something for everybody. And it's like a nice place to go. But yeah, the restaurants are always super fun. Daria really likes his desserts, so we always hit like popsicle places and like cupcake places and like ice cream. But the restaurants itself, you can find really diverse food. So the community of Charlotte itself is super diverse. And I think that's partly because of UNC Charlotte, our school. So there's Mediterranean food, there's Greek food, there's Indian food, pretty much anything you can ask for, I think you can find uptown. And it's really fun to find kind of your niche or your favorite. There's also a really popular cat cafe a lot of scholars like to hit. You can get a cup of coffee and there's like a bunch of cats you can hang out with. There's a lot of like book cafes, board game cafes, all of that. So it's really whatever, like, the whole experience at Charlotte is personalized.
And then another like favorite is Midnight Diner, especially for like the late nights or like whenever, literally, because it's open basically from morning 24/7, almost 24. I think it's closed for like 2 hours during a day. But like this is like your a little bit like bougier Waffle House, or like I would say, like. Great view, because like most like when you go with a big group, you get put in like the ring booth on like the corner, so you can see like the cars passing at the intersection, and it's like they have great music playing, and you can even play your own music if you want, which is nice. And
the service has always been amazing. They're really sweet people, and the food's amazing. They're super accommodating to any like food allergies or anything like that. But just breakfast food at late night hits different for sure. So a lot of us love going there. And Uptown itself is so pretty. And there's so many, like, cars and so many different types of people you'll see. So just, like, walking down the streets of Charlotte could be the most entertaining thing in the world. But me personally, I'm, like, an artsy person. So I make Daria, like Kayla, come with me to like art museums, and stuff like that, and they're really nice. Usually I bribe them with ice cream, so like we go see like a museum, we go and get some ice cream after that. There's like Daria said, the food festivals in the stadiums, but the baseball games in the stadiums too. Yeah. That's something you'll hit as a Levine cohort too, because of Dr. Mike.
Yeah, in the beginning of the year, we had like kind of just after everyone came back, like right before classes started, we all went to the baseball game, and I'm pretty sure no one watched the game, but like it was just so nice to like kind of that's your first, like obviously like the us 20, we know each other from Knowles and we were able to meet, but that's when we get to meet all the other grades. So we just like kind of went around. There was like a little social mingle, like just talking to everyone, which was like super nice. Also like light rail accessible, so we were all able to get there.
The great part about that was like we didn't have to sit in like the regular chair sitting. We had like the picnic area, like when we get to the picnic area, so we got like unlimited buffet access, whatever we wanted, and then on top like drinks and whatever we wanted. And on top of that, there was another like group there, and they were giving out free shirts. So this was like a memory that I had. Like one of the sophomores, she was just like, hey, can I just get a shirt? And then they gave him a shirt. So then all of us, our whole cohort, just went there and just asked for a shirt. And the lady just was like, okay, so I know that you're going to get a shirt. She just went down the line, just asked everyone, what's your size? So that was like really nice too.
And so like Dr. Mike also does like cultural events. So there's a lot of, in the beginning of the year, you'll get a list of like plays and other like events that he has tickets for, and you pretty much, each Levine scholar will send in a list of like first top priority things that they want to go to, and like go down the line, and you'll get tickets for like a handful of those events. There's
plays, symphonies, ballets.
They're always so cool. So far I've been to Wicked, which was really cool. I'd seen it once before, like kind of at home, but this was really cool to like go with all our friends. And when COVID is like kind of a little bit lower, then Dr. Mike also takes you guys out to dinner, which is like super fun.
And so then me and Daria went to the Nutcracker Ballet, which was super nice because it was super festive. And it was right during Christmas, so we got some food, and then we went and watched the play, which was really, really nice. But that's something you can look forward to. That will happen, I think, regardless. So it's just like, that's something that will force you to go uptown if you haven't already. And also the last thing, I think, as a Levine scholar, you will be going uptown for is immersion.
So like immersion, you have, as freshmen, you have two. We've only been to one right now because it's first semester, second semester. First semester is your walking tour, and second semester will be your like bus tour. So our walking tour like is over a weekend. We get there in the morning, then we walk around with another like Levine like advisor or like liaison. I think his name was Billy. So we walked around with Billy?
Billy and Dr. Z.
And so Billy and Dr. Z, we walked around with them. He knows like Charlotte because he's grown up in Charlotte. So he knows so much about Charlotte, like history, what places are for what like has happened, why it's happened, what could be like done to do better, like stuff like that. So like we just walked around with him, learned like so much about Charlotte as a whole. And we like walked like the 4 wards. So like the first ward, second ward, third ward, and fourth ward. And between them, we had like lunch there. We sat at a park, had lunch, talked a bit right next to the baseball stadium, and then we finished our trip up.
I really loved immersion. Like, it was nice because we had like been, it was like in October, like right around Halloween that we went. So we had already like been uptown a little bit, but it was nice to get some like context about like the layout of Charlotte and like kind of like the main points, as well as like also the history. While we did immersion, we also went to the Levine Museum of the New South, which I thought was like super interesting. Kind of like you learn about like civil rights and just different things, but it was interesting to like learn about like kind of how it was specifically in Charlotte, which was super cool. So I really liked immersion, and I'm excited for the bus tour because then obviously like if we're not walking, we get to see more and just like overall like continue to like learn more about Charlotte.
And like after immersion, we had like a little picnic with everybody, which was super nice. Like the park was nice, and it's just like a lot to see, and it brings you together as a cohort too. So that's something to look forward to.
And then the last thing is right here we have Topgolf. Especially on Tuesdays, Topgolf has like half off Tuesdays. So I know that like us and then like two other like Omar and Micah, another like two other freshmen, Levines. We went down to Topgolf. First, we're gonna go to the Charlotte like carnival
Like
or festival or carnival that they had here, like the NC State Fair, and they have like a Charlotte fair. But then we decided to like not go to the fair, and we went to Topgolf instead that day. And we just had great fun. We like stayed there for like 2 hours. We ended up staying there for two. We only wanted to stay for one.
We closed it out there.
Yeah, we closed it out. And like just going with like your friends and everything is so fun, which is nice. And it's like right here. Like at times, if you really want to walk to it, I think you could be able to walk to it too. It's not that far of a walk.
Yeah. No, for sure. But there's just so many things that you can do uptown. And like even though our cohorts like our whole Living Scholarship program is like 80 people, each one of us discover something new when we go uptown. So there's definitely a spot for you at the university uptown. But hopefully this episode told you a lot about what the university offers and what Charlotte as a community offers and what you could probably potentially do for the community of Charlotte when you get here. But I think that's all we have.
Yeah. So it was nice talking to you guys.
This is
Kayla,
Daria,
and Chanda live from Levine Hall.
Bye.
Bye.